So Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets has officially requested a trade and has been given permission for his party to discuss sign trade opportunities with other NBA destinations, and this whole entire thing very well could have a complete butterfly effect on the entire league, man. So before we get going on this video, guys, welcome to another 24-hour NBA offseason speculation, rumor, news, update video. Remember, guys, I am really trying to grow this channel. I cannot do it without you, so please hit that subscribe button. If you are new here, man, thank you guys so much for that. And of course, hit that like button. We have so many stories to cover, today. I mean, obviously, it's been a pretty busy weekend as far as just like talking about the NBA draft and things along those lines, but we are like 5 days until free agency period officially begins here, man. So let's get going on this first story right here that was reported this morning. As we talked about, Kyrie Irving's camp has requested and received permission from the Nets to speak with other teams about sign and trade packages. And I don't know, man, like, when it comes down to Kyrie Irving, there could be some sign trade package with the Brooklyn Nets that just end up really just making the NBA completely different. Or maybe it's as simple as Kyrie declines his player option and signs the mid-level exception at about $5.7 million with the Los Angeles Lakers. I've heard there's definitely a chance he could do that. And I don't know how I would feel about it, man. But straight up, Kyrie looks like his days on the Nets are limited, and he's still a very talented NBA player, still a top point guard in the NBA, in my opinion. As far as his trade value, I don't really know where it stands at. I don't really know what teams would be willing to give up. I mean, if you look at the Lakers as the team that are the solely interested ones out there, I mean, there's been rumors of the Heat, the Clippers, teams like that. I think the Mavericks even. But it seems like the Lakers are really the dead set ones. Like, we want Kyrie Irving. And I think the mind rushes towards, okay, how do they get that done? It would have to probably be Russell Westbrook to match salary, Talen Horton, and probably a pick, I guess. But even that, from the Brooklyn Nets standpoint, yes, you have one season of Russell Westbrook, but also how does he exactly work with Ben Simmons on the Nets? Probably not very good. And then obviously Kevin Durant getting Russell Westbrook on the team. He left the OKC Thunder once upon a time to get away from Westbrook, so that would probably result in him requesting a trade to a different team also, man. The one way I could see it maybe keeping Kevin Durant happy on the Nets is it would have to be like Kyrie and Ben Simmons for Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis. But even with that, man, you're still getting Russell on the team. I really don't know a good way to do this that keeps Kevin Durant away from requesting a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. You guys let me know in the comment section below, man, because I think it's about to get dramatic up in here with these different NBA franchises. So yeah, Kyrie Irving sign trade probably going to happen pretty relatively soon here. Next up, we have the Spurs and Hawks have continued to discuss a larger deal involving DeJounte Murray and John Collins. I love the idea of Trae Young and DeJounte in the backcourt together. I think defensively and really just from a rebounding standpoint and really anything besides scoring, which DeJounte's still good at, by the way, I think is just really going to, I don't know, man, mesh very nicely with Trae Young on the squad. They also obviously having DeAndre Hunter on the team, and I believe AJ Griffin they got, who I believe is a steal of the draft, by the way. Having a Congo on the squad, like, yeah, it's time to move on from John Collins. And you get an all-star in the backcourt with Trae Young. Definitely a winning situation for the Hawks. And then over on the Spurs side of things, I mean, John Collins, I think having a bigger focus in the offense could be kind of interesting. I could also see where Spurs fans are like, no, man, like, we don't want to, like, give up DeJounte Murray. Like, the dude, like, just became an all-star. Like, we just really been investing in this kid since he was drafted to the team and everything. So, when it comes down to that, I can see Spurs fans being a little salty about it. But, man, like, they got a lot of guards on their team and stuff. The issue is I think they have like a lot of guards and wings. I don't know if they really have a lot of point guards though, man. I think like that might be the issue with the Spurs. They got like Josh Primo, where they got, Lonnie Walker or Devin Vassell, but they do not have a point guard. So I don't know, man. I'm a little iffy about it, especially also having Keldon Johnson on the team, because what happens with him at that point, right? So seems like kind of an L for the Spurs, but the Hawks, big time W if they can pull it off. Next up we have here, this is a report from Mark Stein. By the way, the last one was Jake L. Fisher. This is the Rockets and John Wall are expected to negotiate a buyout. If successful, the Clippers, Lakers, and Heat will express interest. All three of these teams could use John Wall, and it would probably be on a very small contract, because typically when you have those bought out contracts, they're set for that season, and you can get a player on a really good deal. Yeah, man, I like him on the Clippers a lot. They need a playmaker. Yes, as far as the Clippers injury woes are concerned, I don't really think John Wall helps out with that too much, but as far as what they need is from a playmaking standpoint, John Wall is absolutely perfect. He would not be asked to do too much offensively, but I still think he can provide something to that team. Now, he would obviously need to go out and not be taking 20 shots a game or nothing like that, which he was doing a few seasons ago with the Houston Rockets, I believe it was. But if he could be like a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, get the offense involved. And I might even go as far as saying maybe you start Reggie Jackson just because, like, he knows the offense. He's not really injury prone as much as John Wall is. Use John Wall as a facilitator off the bench. That could be kind of nice. But I like him on the team there, man. As far as the Miami Heat go, I mean, you know, Kyle Lowry seems like he's on, like, his last leg, so I could see them wanting to pull him off a move like that. But once again, you know, Kyle Lowry came up short in the playoffs. He just wasn't himself. He's just not the player he once was. And I could see that same circumstance happening again with John Wall. It's like, yeah, in the regular season might do some things, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's going to be worn out by then. So, I don't know. I would much rather see this Heat team find their long-term solution at the point guard position, but that's obviously easier said than done. And once again, too, they're also a team that's very much interested in Kyrie Irving. So, we'll see how that all kind of plays out. And then, obviously, you know, John Wall going to the Lakers. Yeah, if they can get a guy like John Wall on a very small contract, given a buyout circumstance, another big-time W to big-market teams. But it is what it is, man. The Lakers trying to get better, and you got to do it however way you can. Like, just because you're a big-market team or sign big-name players does not mean it leads to championships or success all of the time, right? So, yeah, I kind of like the idea of him on the Clippers, I would say the most. That's kind of the way I'm going with it. Next up, we have something that I absolutely love here. I'm sure the fans of this team love it too. This is via Jason Lloyd, who says the Cavaliers are very much interested in signing Ricky Rubio after trading him to the Pacers last season. That would be huge for this Cavaliers team, man. Ricky Rubio, we don't know what he's going to be like after the torn ACL. It's not the first time he's had a major lower body injury, so that really could slow him down quite a bit. But if he can return to form about how he was on that Cavaliers team, oh my goodness, I felt like once he was traded, went down with injury, that whole team was just not the same. Even if he's not playing as well, he's more of a locker room guy with limited minutes on the court. He just really fits with that Cavaliers squad, man. I absolutely loved him on that team. Hated when he got traded away, but it also made sense from a business standpoint. So getting him back, I know the Cavalier fans absolutely gonna love that, man. All right, next up here we have this is a report from Kate Pelton saying that, I believe this is ESPN, saying, report, Bradley Beal is very likely to decline player option and re-sign with the Wizards on a 5-year max deal worth $248 million. So you can look at this from two different perspectives. You can look at it from the perspective of, okay, Bradley Beal, loyal player, wants to finish his career with the Washington Wizards. You can also look at it from the standpoint of the amount of money he would walk away from to go to a different team would be astronomical. There we go, man. I couldn't say the damn word, right? But with that, it's like you can sign those supermax deals. You can wait like a few months or like a year, and then you can request a trade. Like, that's kind of what I think the workaround for that is. If a disgruntled player is not going to give up, you know, an extra $50 million or whatever to go to a different team, they can just request a trade, right? Like, that's the era the NBA is in. And from a player standpoint, I mean, players all the time get traded without knowledge or anything along those lines. A lot of players find out on Twitter and social media about when they get traded. So, you know, giving the power to the players in that case and being like, okay, well, you all don't care when you trade me, I might request a trade after getting my payday. I can see both sides of it. That doesn't mean it's a good thing. That doesn't mean it's good for the game of basketball and from a fan standpoint, but I don't know, man. Gotta work with what you got yet again, right? Next up, we have Draymond Green on the potential pairing of LeBron and Kyrie Irving in LA. He says they would contend, but they won't beat us. What y'all think about that, man? Let me know in the comment section below. Y'all taking Kyrie and LeBron and AD on the Lakers? Or are you taking that Warriors team that just won a championship? And now this one here, kind of fun, man. You know, it is what it is. This is the Miami Heat are 5-2 favorites to sign Kevin Durant should he leave Brooklyn, which is interesting, man. I believe that's the best odds. I actually saw a video of Chris Moove talking about this morning, man. So Chris Moove says it, you know it's true. That makes it almost like surely that Kyrie Irving's not going to the Heat, because I feel like they would not. I feel like Vegas odds would not give that to Kevin Durant going to the Heat if there was any chance that Kyrie was going to the Heat himself. Right? Like, I think that's how odds work. It's like, well, that's like an unlikely scenario. Regardless, Kevin Durant going to the Heat as far as the trade package standpoint, I read something earlier saying that the Boston Celtics could give up the best trade package to get him on the team. But let's talk about the Miami Heat here. Obviously, Tyler Herro's in there. You're looking at Duncan Robinson for some contract, situations. I've seen people talking about stuff like Bam and Jimmy Butler for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I've seen things like that. I don't know how that would work. I don't know if I like it, man. It comes to the point where I really actually do like this Heat team. I do not want to see them blow things up. If they can make a big-time trade and bring in a superstar caliber player, then that's one thing. But to trade Jimmy and Bam, I just think that's a little bit too much. You want to talk about how the hero trade packages, you know, for a 34-year-old superstar in Kevin Durant, that's one thing. But, yeah, man. So what you all think about this? It's about to be an insane weekend, guys. An insane week, I should say. And I plan on uploading every single day, man, with you guys' 24-hour updates. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.